Mr. Mayor and Councilmember Swanson and the rest of the council, as well as all of our invited guests. Thank you for being here this evening. And as we've already talked about a little bit, of course, we would all rather be together and be able to be in person and give handshakes and give hugs. But we're making the best of it as we have throughout this entire last 9 months. And so staff has worked over the past several weeks to bring this group of people together to share memories of Mayor Tom Ryan and Councilmember Dick Swanson, memories of working with them. After the workshop, we'll continue into the regular council meeting. During the regular council meeting, there'll be some time for current council members to share their thoughts as well during that meeting. So we'll have more good things to come. But during the workshop, we have got 20 different invited speakers to speak tonight. So we're going to get right into it. And then after that, we have a video to show, and we'll close our workshop, Mayor and Councilmember Swanson, with a chance for you to say a little something back to all the people that spoke tonight. But we're going to try and just go right through this list of 20, and we are going to start with Pastor Al Garaki is on, and we're going to start with Pastor Al this evening.
Where is he?
Hey Ben.
Welcome, Al.
So hey guys, how are you? Good
Doing
to be
good.
connected.
Good. Yeah.
Even though we can't be together, it's great to be connected. Can you imagine if we had to go through 2020 without technology, how dark it would really be if we couldn't connect in this way? So I'm grateful. And thank you for allowing me to just say a few words. I want to thank, of course, Mayor Tom Ryan and Councilmember Dick Swanson for all their years of service to the city of Blaine. And whenever I work with people, I'm always looking at two things. I'm looking at their competencies, if they can, if they have the skill set to get the job done. And both the mayor and Dick have exhibited great competency when they actually got into the city council. First of all, Mr. Mayor, Ronald Reagan was the president when you got into the city council in 1987. Okay. So, and Dick, you're not too far behind there, serving for 26 plus years or whatever. But the reality is, I moved to Blaine in 1987, and I've seen all the changes that have gone on. And Blaine is a better place to live because of you guys' leadership. So I look for competencies in people that lead, and then I also look at their character. And here's the deal: you don't make it in any kind of leadership without integrity. And both men have great integrity, and that's why you guys keep getting you got reelected all those years. My favorite memory, though, is of the mayor when, by the way, both guys have supported our food shelf, Hope for the Community. But last week, by the way, we served 958 families, 56,000 pounds of groceries last week, right in the city of Blaine, that the mayor and the council member have supported Hope for the Community, and so has the staff and the other council members as well. But my favorite memory is of Tom Ryan coming to the food shelf and actually pushing groceries out and helping people get food. And I also remember my friend was standing next to me. He goes, "Let's take a picture of this. I can't believe it. A politician is actually working." And so he gave the mayor a little bit of a hard time, but the mayor, you know what? Here's the deal. Here's why you guys made it this long. I'll tell you why. Number one, you love the city. You love the governance part of it all. You love the staff. You love all the governance, all that stuff. But number one, you love the people. And that's why you guys made it that long. And you know what? The people love you too. And so I'm grateful to be here. And I wish you guys both the very best.
Thanks, Pastor Al.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Al. Next, we're going to go to Senator Jerry Newton.
Thank you, Ben. First of all, congratulations, Tom and David. It's been amazing, amazing ride. You have done so much, not only for the city of Blaine, but for the area and for the state, and your involvement in so many various organizations that most people that aren't involved in cities don't understand just how much you can do and what you have done. Dick and I started on the council at the same time in 96, I think it was, when I was on the Coon Rapids Council. And it wasn't long after that that Don Pass and Tinklenberg held a meeting. And it's probably my favorite memory of working with the Blaine City Council. They held a meeting to sort of look where the city was and where they wanted to go. And I remember the first thing they did was they took out a slip of paper and passed it around to everyone and said, write down the 2 things that you think about when you think about the city of Blaine. And mind you, this was almost 30 years ago, but unanimously, the 2 things were trailer parks and sod fields. And the amazing thing is that the 2 of you, the fantastic city managers that you have done so much to make Blaine a showcase. And sitting on the Coon Rapids City Council, I don't know about Dave Bartholomew, but I know sitting on the Coon Rapids City Council, I had city envy, watching the way that Blaine was growing, whereas opposed to Coon Rapids, we sort of let developers come in and tell us what they were going to do for us. And then Blaine, you had a plan and you stuck to it, and you have really done well. So thank you both for all that you've done for, as I say, not only the city, but for the entire area.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry. Next, we're going to go to Representative Nolan West.
Thanks, Ben. It's great to see everybody here. It will be a lot better in person, but it is what it is. And it tells you something about Tom and Dick with how many people are speaking tonight. I mean, it's just crazy how many people are in here. I'm looking at my Zoom screen and it's just full of people. But the one thing I'll say is I've lived in Blaine my whole life, and I know we got a lot of people to work through, so I'll be very quick. But I've lived in Blaine my whole life, and Tom Ryan was the mayor when I was born, and he's the mayor when I was 30. It's pretty incredible. And, you know, when you're in government and politics, you deal with people's complaints. It's 95% of the job, really. And for all the things people say, it's just like people are pounding down the doors to get into Blaine. Our city is growing like crazy hotcakes. My legislative district is actually the biggest in the state right now. So it just tells you, you know, with Tom and Dick at the helm, Blaine has grown like hotcakes. And everybody likes to find stuff to complain about, but you can't deny the results. The National Sports Center is thriving, and the whole community brought in the PGA tournament. It's just glorious. And really, once we get Highway 65 rebuilt, then Blaine will be just perfect. So thank you guys so much for your service. And you know, I hope you guys enjoy your lives after this when you don't have to put up with people complaining all the time. So thanks.
Thanks, Nolan.
Thank you, Representative West. We're going to round out our state government representatives now, going to Representative Erin Cagle.
Thanks, Ben. And thank you, Mayor Ryan and Councilmember Swanson. You know, when I first started, I never really thought I would run for office until somebody strong-armed me into it, Senator Newton. But having you guys, you know, as a steadying force behind our community has been just amazing. And so when I was thinking about this, I kind of went and did a little Google searching, and you think you guys have a whole heck of a lot out there. But I was really impressed. Mayor Ryan, you won a 7 Seals Award. That's insane. That's really, really amazing. And Councilmember Swanson, I hope now that you're retiring, you'll have a little bit more time to sit down and chat with me about some MnDOT transportation funding, because I'm a little interested in that. But the one thing that's so amazing about both of you guys is that you see your impacts on this community everywhere you go. You know, I was just driving over and seeing the redevelopment of the Kmart site. And I know that's something you championed, Councilmember Swanson, or the senior center, every time I get onto Highway 10 to run up to Costco. And so your impact on this community is going to be long lasting. And I just really hope that I'm able to just lay half the footprint that you guys have. I think you've done such an amazing job, and it's we come from a community that we're really proud to be a part of. So I really just want to thank you both.
Thanks, Erin. Ben, you got a second?
Yes.
Somebody just called. Is this being broadcast out?
It should be, yep.
They're not getting it.
No, they're not.
All right, well, we'll work on that.
Somebody
Keep
just called
going.
in.
You can't see anything.
All right, we'll work on that.
Okay.
Okay, they're
Sorted. Next up is League of Minnesota Cities Executive Director,
Okay.
Dave Unmach.
Bye.
Hello, Ben. Thank you very much. Mayor Tom, Councilmember Dick, thanks for allowing me to be part of this program this evening. I just two quick observations. One, I want to thank the organizers for putting me on before the Mayor Dave from Circle Pines, because I want to watch the 10 o'clock news tonight, and I wasn't sure if I'd get a chance to do that if I was on it after Dave. So I appreciate that. And I also have to admit that Clark Arneson has been a longtime friend and colleague of mine, and I haven't seen him for some time. But when I read some of the achievements that both of you did, I was kind of confused, because when last time I talked to Clark, he read off all the things that he did in the city of Blaine, and he was taking credit for all that stuff. So I couldn't go without a little jab to my friend Clark. Clark, it's good to see you. Thanks. Hope
Good
you're
to see
doing
you
well.
too.
So why do you invite someone from the League of Minnesota Cities to a council member and a mayor's retirement? It's pretty obvious, because of the impact you've had on your communities and the impact you've had on cities across the state, not only in Minnesota, but also in your region, especially in the Anoka County area, all of your communities. The work that you've done in things like transportation, I-35W Corridor Coalition, telecommunications, housing, economic development, public safety, parks and recreation. I mean, it goes on and on. In particular also, and it's really cool to see the legislator members involved because of your work, both at the state level, but also at the national level, for advocating on behalf of the city of Blaine and cities in Minnesota. Both of you two have done a remarkable job over the years. Mayor Tom, 34 years, and Dick, some 26 years of 60 years of experience walking out the door on January 1st. We don't keep track of specific counts at the league, because there's a lot of people with different terms, but by my measure, that's the two of the most tenured people that we have that are retiring. So on behalf of Mayor Brad Wiersum, who's the president of the League of Minnesota City, Mayor Brad is from Minnetonka, all the board members and the staff that you've known and you've interacted with over the years, thank you so much for your service to your city. Thank you for your service to the league, to the National League of Cities, and thank you for your service to your community. And I wish each one of you all the best. Michelle has some league swag in her office, some stuff. So if you wouldn't mind stopping in or reaching out to Michelle, Tom and Dick, we would be more than happy to give you some things to take away from the league as you move into retirement. So thank you again for including me. Congratulations to both of you, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Next up, we're going to go to Anoka County Board Chair Scott Schulte.
Well, thank you, Ben and Tom and Dick. Congratulations. And two words come to mind immediately. One is legacy. You've certainly left a legacy. And that second word is integrity. I've served with both of you on different committees through the years. Tom at the Joint Law Enforcement Council and the Governance Committee for the longest time. And the integrity you display at those meetings through all of that process has left a mark on me. And Dick, in working with you on transportation projects, it's always been a positive reflection on the city of Blaine. I will say one thing, as a member of the Anoka County Board now, it hurt my feelings a little bit when you grew your city bigger than mine. Twin Rapids always wore that moniker pretty well, but as Senator Newton previously intimated, we always look to Blaine as our sister city over there, but now all of a sudden you're the bigger sister. Congratulations on that and for that. You've done a fabulous job building your city and laying the groundwork for future councils to continue that growth in a positive way. But truly I want to thank you for one important thing, and that was anytime Blaine and the county of Anoka has any disagreement whatsoever, It's nothing but respectful. You call, we talk through it, or you don't call and you just expect we're going to do what we have to do, and you do what you have to do. For that, thank you. Enjoy your retirement, and thank you for being such a great leader in Anoka County.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
All right. Well, next up, we have a couple of neighboring mayors. We're first going to go with Mayor Jerry Cook from Coon Rapids.
Jerry, good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you, Mayor Ryan. Oh, there we go. I just wanted to say congratulations to both Dick and Tom. I served with Dick on the Twin City Gateway Visitors Bureau, and that was fun to get to know you on there. And as the treasurer, you're the guy that I went, that's exactly the guy I want in charge of the finances. So I thank you for your leadership on that. And Mayor Ryan, I just have to say that in my first term as mayor, and I don't recall what the subject was anymore, but I remember having a question thinking, what do I do with this? And I called you and you answered, and I got you at home, and I'm sure you were in the middle of something, but I became the most important thing at the moment. And you answered my question. And I remember thinking, well, that was some pretty sage advice, and I'm pretty happy I called him. So
Thank you.
I just want to say that thank you for the time together, being the neighboring city and having our longest border between there, and all the mutual aid and the joint powers and the things that comes up. It's because of both of your leadership, it's been a very great experience. And I just thank you both, and all the best to you.
Thanks, Mayor.
All right. Moving on to another neighboring mayor, Mayor Dave Bartholomew from Circle Pines.
This ought to be good.
Oh, now.
Uh-oh, here we go.
It'll be short. Really, a couple quick things. First off, Dick, I wanted to say thanks to you. I think of almost 20 years together we worked on the 35W project, and how that construction is rolling along and getting close to being finished, and it's just wonderful. So you did a lot of work. We went to church together, all kinds of great things. And Tom, I got to tell you, I have so much respect for you. I've enjoyed our teasing and our good humor. We've worked really well together, and it's so important when you're a small town to have a really great relationship with the big town next to you. And you've been wonderful for Circle Pines to have next door to us. I want to tell you, you've attracted some great staff. I also am a friend of Clark's, although most people don't admit it. But I don't think this is being recorded, so I think we're safe. But I am a friend of Clark's too, and you've got good talent up and down the rows over there in Blaine. It's just wonderful. I think if I was going to use a word to describe you, it's something that I work at all the time, and I know other folks on here do too. You really are a servant leader. I mean, you live to serve people. And the story about carrying out the groceries at the food shelf, that's servant leadership, right? And that's how you've led. That's who you are. You're the best, and I really wish you the best going forward, man. Good job. Thanks a lot for letting me be part of in your circle of Blaine.
Thanks, Dave. That's
All
the
right.
shortest you've ever talked.
We're now going to move on to some former council members and former city employees that you have both worked with over the years. So up first will be former Blaine City Council member Dave Clark.
Well, after many years of talking about it, you guys finally followed through on it. So I'm glad to see you. I know it's been a great run for you. And, as I was thinking about what I was going to say, I was cleaning out a drawer in the room here, and I came across my notes from my retirement speech, and looking back, all of the different development things that we've done, like the lakes, and Club West and the TPC, the Walmart on Ball Road, the Walmart on Ulysses, the curling facility, the Lexington Athletic Complex, thinking back to all the roads that we did, Lexington Avenue, Radisson Road, University 105th, the bridge at 65 in Main Street. You guys have led the way in a lot of ways. I think one of the biggest accomplishments that you guys can take credit for is the Highway 65 overlay, because that decision, that commitment really changed the course of the development of the city of Blaine. We went from being that trailer park community to the jewel of the North. And that was huge. I mean, you know, another big one that I know the Councilmember Swanson was very instrumental in was pushing forward for trails and sidewalks. Because when you look at communities, one of the things that is most desirable about communities is the trails and the sidewalks. There's a lot of foresight that went into that. You know, there's a lot of, in the past, I was thinking about, you know, how many different city managers you've worked with. You have Don Haas and Roger Frazier and Ron Wood and then Clark. You know,
6.
yeah. You know, and the staff like Ron Hendrickson, you know, all the stories with Ron, you know, and Chuck, you know, Brian Schaefer, you know, Chris, Kenny Irwin, you know, even the past council members like Jane Daniels and Karen Varian, you know, Randy and Kathy Kolb, you know, Tony, Russ, Mike, Jim Nelson, you know, L. Tinklenberg, Ron Clark, you know, Earl Zek. You know, a lot of different people have come and gone over the city council, you know, during your tenure, and you've seen a lot of things, and it's been a heck of a ride. And this city is much better off for the two of you being involved. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Moving on is former Blaine City Manager Clark Arneson.
Thanks. Dick and Tom, it was really an honor and a privilege to have served with you guys. You both led Blaine from really a sod farm and a trailer park community into a fastest growing city in Anoka County, about 70,000 people, growing to about 85,000. We achieved AAA bond status under your leadership as well, which is for a developing community with a lot of financing needs for high growth. That's not that easy to achieve. So to me, that's a very significant achievement. Dave took a few of my notes here by listing projects, but a couple of other ones that really frame Blaine into what it is today to me is really the National Sports Center, TPC in the lakes, 610 connecting east and west, a huge improvement. And then also the other things in the community that'll be seen forever, the Veterans Park, the visible improvements on 35W. Most people will never understand how difficult that is to push through in today's world. To get something over a 20-year period to work like that and get it funded and moving is really significant. Cable Commission, Dick worked on that for years. Visible in a community always, and beautiful building to operate from. Also the Twin Cities Convention and Visitors Bureau, getting that up and running, and Dick was the finance person on that. Senior Center, which just recently opened, and so forth. Just a couple other points. I do have some other stories I could tell, but probably not in this venue, so I won't do that. But I do remember December of 2007, I was interviewing for the Blaine city manager job. The wheels were completely off the economy. I didn't know how far off the economy they actually were. I probably would have stayed in Bloomington. But anyway, I remember asking a question about longevity and whether the Blaine Council was committed and for the long run and being there. Every city manager wants stability on a city council, and it's really the lifeblood for a city manager. So I was figuring, okay, if these guys are around for 3 to 5, I'm good. Well, there's 4 people on this screen that outlasted me, and I was there 12 years. So Dick and Tom far exceeded my service. Dave just last year, and then Wes obviously still there, and was there on the council when I started. So longevity and the quality leadership are really the keys to where Blaine is today. And thank you for your service.
Thank you, Clark.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clark. Now we'll move on to former Police Chief Dave Johnson.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, yeah. Well, good evening, everyone. And hi from Tucson, Arizona, where I'm sitting here in shorts in 79-degree weather. So, you know, it's kind of nice. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that you invited me to say a few words. I came to Blaine in 1996. And at that time, Tom, if you remember, you were on the city council. And Dick, you were just shortly to come on the council, if memory serves me, which is probably good at my age. But shortly after I started there as chief of police, you all asked me to put together a 5-year plan that did an assessment of where the police department and public safety was in the community and where it needed to go in 5 years. And I did that, and we went over it in early 1997. And in 2002, I checked back on the plan, and we had accomplished 100% of everything that I had put down on that plan. 100%, which included the building of a new facility that was the envy of everybody in the law enforcement community in around the metropolitan area. And over the years, both of your dedication to public safety and taking care of those who served in public safety was never ending and always complete. And Tom, I don't ever remember a Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or a holiday that you didn't walk through the police station and say hi to everyone. And I can't tell you how much that meant to me and meant to everyone else. And on a personal note, over the years, you and I shared some difficult times, and we shared an awful lot of good times. And I was the envy of all the police chiefs in the metro area because I had a stable city council, one that supported public safety, and one that treated me as nice as you all treated me. And I can't thank you enough. I have nothing but good memories of you, Mayor Ryan, and Councilmember Swanson, and the 12 years that we spent together. And so I hope you both enjoy your retirement. It's well earned. And when you drive through the community, I hope you take a deep breath and take in all that you accomplished and all that you meant to the citizens. Congratulations to you both.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. And Mayor, as you mentioned before, it wouldn't be 2020 without a few technical difficulties. So for those who are trying to, that might have, Mayor or Councilmember Swanson, if you had family that are trying to watch on the live stream is not working currently. We're working on it. We're on cable television, but we are recording this and we'll have the full recording available afterwards.
Good.
As well. So
I think they're getting the audio, Ben, but they're not getting the video, but
we're working on it.
yeah.
But let's continue on. Former SPM Fire Chief, current Mounds View City Administrator, Niall Zickman is up next.
Where is he?
Yeah, I had to get the mouse. My mother-in-law's in the background, and I'm certain you didn't want to listen to her. So, so I relocated to a more secure room. She's hard of hearing, so everybody in the house gets to hear when she's talking. Anyways, good evening, everyone. I too want to join in the chorus in praising you for your sacrifice to serve others. I got to tell you, your service brings to mind the words uttered by the great Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. I had to look for somebody actually older than Dick. So, but he had a saying that I've tried to live by, that the fruit of a good life is good character and acts for the common good. In all things, you remain true to a vision that moved Blaine forward, resulting in a community few would have ever imagined. Together, you work to transform Blaine into what it is now, the largest city in Anoka County, and home to a multitude of amenities and bountiful opportunities. And like Dave, throughout this, you understood the critical importance of public safety, and you embraced the needs of the Spring Lake Park, Blaine, Mounds View Fire Department. Under your watch, the department literally transformed from nearly a wholly volunteer operation, operating out of some pretty modest facilities, with equipment that was literally breaking down. Through those years, we closed and consolidated stations 3 and 5 into one, the new Station 3, remodeled Station 4, added a station at City Hall, and you replaced and modernized 100% of the fleet. Together, we built a daytime model for response that is envied and being copied by others, and still continued with a robust volunteer operation for nights and weekends. So as the sun sets on your service, you can take great pride in what you've accomplished, as few are going to chronicle what you two have achieved. You guys made a difference because you cared about Blaine and driven to making it a better place. For that, I want to thank you and wish you the very best as you continue on the fantastic journey we know as life. Good night, God bless, and may your example be the light that guides all others. Thank you.
Thanks, Niall.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Niall. Next up, as you all know, Dick served on the Cable Commission for many, many years. So we have the North Metro TV Executive Director, Heidi Arnson, to bring some comments next.
Thanks, Ben. As Ben was saying, I've worked with Councilmember Swanson on the North Metro Cable Commission for the past 23 years. And while commissioners from our member cities generally change every few years, Dick has been the only representative from Blaine for that entire time period. In fact, he is the longest serving cable commissioner in the history of the Cable Commission. As you can well imagine, technology has changed a bit under his watch. He was here to monitor the introduction of cable internet service, the addition of fiber to coaxial infrastructure, and the cable system upgrade from an analog to a digital format. While all of those things would have no doubt happened whether Dick was on the commission or not, the development and growth of North Metro Community Television would not have. It was under Dick's leadership that North Metro TV went from a small staff of instructors teaching their own shows to a full service communications resource for our members. During his tenure, sports, news, and municipal services departments were created. A state-of-the-art television studio was designed and constructed, and programming services for cities were expanded. Our last major project a few years ago was the complete upgrade of North Metro TV production and playback facilities to the HD format. None of those projects would have happened if it hadn't been for Dick's vision and encouragement and the City of Blaine's support. I've truly appreciated Dick's strong leadership and support for community television and for me over the past 23 years. It is going to be very, very strange meeting without him next year. He has so much institutional knowledge of the Cable Commission that it's going to be impossible to replace him. And I can say without any doubt that he's going to be very sorely missed. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Mayor Ryan, for all of the help that you've given North Metro TV. I know that my staff absolutely loves interviewing you because whenever they need an interview, you're always very willing to do it, which isn't always the case. Well, it's the case with Mayor Dave also, but you too. So again, thank you both. Congratulations and the best of luck to you going forward.
Thanks, Heidi.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi. Up next, former administrator from the I-35W Coalition, Bob Benke.
Thank you for being invited to join us, join you this evening. Just a quick note, when we formed the coalition many years ago, as Dick and others have mentioned, both Dick and I had the advantage of having worked for MnDOT for many years and were retired and moved on to other endeavors. One of the key successes for the coalition was the fact that we were able to get support from Senator Klobuchar and Representative McCollum on federal funding appropriations that were to be used for planning what to do, what should it look like after we're done playing all these games. And it took a message to MnDOT to use it or lose it to finally get them off the dime. And we then moved into the planning process that many of you have already mentioned. With others that have been commenting, and many of you know, 35W Coalition was a spinoff of the North Metro Mayors Association. And the key player there was Joseph Strauss, who was then the executive director, and he's been a long time resident and active in your city of Blaine. Previously, he served as a council member in Minneapolis. But that illustrates, I think, what the hierarchy of city organizations and other organizations in other fields, how important that is to the success for the 35 project, as well as many of the other ventures that we as city leaders and mayors and council members have to deal with day to day. And they also highlight the fact that if you participate in those organizations in way, shapes, or forms, whether a council member or mayor, there are conferences, there are educational opportunities, and that's important for any elected official to know. one of the keys to success is collaboration, like we did on 35W. And I would urge the mayor to pass along to the new mayor the importance of how the great importance of that message is. And I hope that he will stay available and not just fade away. I haven't here in New Brighton after my many years on the council. You've always got something to add, and I hope that you will continue to do that.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Up next, from the National Sports Center and the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission, Todd Johnson.
Mr. Mayor and Councilmember Swanson, I really feel honored to be able to congratulate both of you on your careers. This place wouldn't be here, and you can see behind my back, I was able to figure out, believe it or not, without the help of technical people, how to get that backdrop up there at the 30 years, because I think you both have been around for the entire 30 years of this facility, and what's happened here and are pivotal in our success up here. I made the decision 6 years ago to put the mayor on the board of the National Sports Center Foundation, and I think it's one of the better decisions I've made to have the city's direct input in the facility and the things that we're working on. And both of you have been real, true, strong supporters. And I could go on and on about all the things that you've done for this place, but I'll end with just a quick little anecdote. One of my first meetings with the mayor, he came into my office and he was completely distraught, and I could tell there was something else that was really eating at him that was way more important than this meeting with me. And finally he got to tell me that someone had stolen a piano from the senior center, and that he was spending the day trying to figure out how to replace that piano for the senior citizens at that senior center. And I think knew right then what sort of hands this city was in, when that was the duty that the mayor was most concerned about that day, was to make sure that that piano was replaced. So Mayor, I'll never forget that story. I know both of you have attended countless events up here. Mayor, I don't think you ever missed one USA Cup opening ceremony. And just want to make sure that you know, on behalf of the Minnesota Sports Commission and the National Sports Center Foundation Board of Directors, we thank both of you for your community leadership. You're real, true leaders in the community.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd. Up next, from Twin Cities Gateway, Steve Markison.
How do you describe the contributions of Mayor Ryan and Councilmember Swanson and what they've done for the city of Blaine? Quite simply, you can't put it into words. I tried. In fact, I took out my trusty Webster's dictionary to look up the official definition of public servant. There wasn't a definition. All Webster's had were pictures of the mayor and Dick. And that's true. In my 40-year career, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of elected officials at the local, state, and federal levels. And Mayor Ryan and Councilman Swanson are really the epitome of public servants for what they have done, their commitment, and the leadership. I'll echo what Todd just said. In my 10+ years with Twin Cities Gateway, I've had the opportunity to attend a lot of events, meetings, functions, receptions, and other things in Blaine. I've never been to one of those where the mayor hasn't been there himself. And I know that he attends a lot more of those events than I do. So the city's been truly lucky to have him, and his leadership and commitment and how much he cares really speaks for itself. Tom always had a firm handshake and a big smile whenever we crossed paths. And I was lucky enough on several occasions to get some words of wisdom from him and find out a little bit more about some of the inside baseball and what was happening with the city and where it was going. Dick was on the city's appointed representative to Twin Cities Gateway from its inception and really before the organization even got started. He also served as a treasurer, so he really helped us to keep the train on the tracks, and what has become recognized as one of the most successful local visitors bureaus in the state. And it wouldn't have happened without his leadership, not only as a treasurer, but as the key member on the finance committee whenever we had budgets to set or anything else. And we were lucky indeed to have Dick as a board member. He was very engaged, active, and participatory, all the things that you hope you would get when someone's serving on the board. I know one thing for sure, my life's better for having had the opportunity to meet both of these gentlemen. And if we can all look back and think of where Blaine was when they first got going with their city leadership and where it is today, there's no doubt how much the city's benefited, as the entire metro area has. I want to congratulate you both on jobs well done and wish each of you the best in your retirements. And thanks for your service, and a tip of the cap for all that you've done. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Up next from Metro North Chamber of Commerce, Lori Higgins.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to say a few words at this celebration. I know you both have worked with hundreds of organizations over the decades, so it's really an honor to be included in this group tonight. As you know, the Metro North Chamber, we've had a physical presence in Blaine for many years, and we've represented hundreds of businesses through our organization, and we've always had a great working relationship with the city of Blaine, certainly in the last 11 years during the time that I've been president. But to have such a partnership means that there are people representing the city to make that happen, and that's obviously why we are here tonight, is to recognize two of its leaders. Mayor Ryan and Councilmember Swanson, you've both been a big part as to why the city of Blaine is considered to be friendly to businesses, both new and existing. You are both highly supportive of our Blaine Business Council, which we proposed a number of years ago, which has become an immensely dynamic group of business leaders and city representatives. I also appreciate how you both have always had an open door and collaborative approach, even reaching out to me personally over the years for my input and thoughts on various issues. And like was mentioned previously on events, I too want to mention how Mayor Ryan in particular has rarely missed a ribbon cutting for a new business, especially when it's a quick trip. Mayor Ryan will be there. In hindsight, I should have made you an honorary ambassador years ago. So with that, if you find yourself missing out on those celebrations, I invite you to attend whichever ones you wish. I will even have an honorary name tag for you with your new title and corresponding ribbons. I mean, going from Mayor of Blaine to honorary chamber ambassador, what could get better than that?
You bet.
So thank you both for the many years of conversation and collaboration on behalf of our shared business community, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Up next is Steve Guider, representing the Veterans Memorial Park of Blaine.
See, Steve.
How's it going? Well, I'm
There
not
he
at
is.
the water, I'm out at the park. So I've been standing out here for the last
I might knew you were there.
Yeah, I'm not in 73 degree weather or indoors. So it was kind of cool when I was driving here. I thought the clouds cleared and the planets were starting to align, but I saw it was Dick's clock tower shining brightly there. So we missed that one. But I just want to thank you both. So I know, Tom, you're the first one that I talked to, and I've known you since I was in high school. I've lived here for 44 years, and yeah, we're good friends with my dad, and so I've known you for a long time. And you're the first one I approached about this project to put this veteran park in, and you were so excited about it, and even more excited that you joined the committee for it, and you've offered incredible help in getting this project going. And Dick, I know for you, the city had gotten a large donation a little over a year ago, and you had made the recommendation to donate a portion of that to the veteran park. And we have 5 war monuments that we put up. They're covered right now. We haven't been able to have a dedication for them because of the COVID, but as soon as that goes away and we can have a dedication, we're going to have one. And with you making the recommendation, that helped to put these monuments up. But, want to thank you both. I know everybody's wishing you a great retirement. Well, Tom, we still got to raise about $900,000 to finish this park. Retired. And now that Dick is not on the city council anymore, I'm imagining that he's going to join the committee to get this thing finished here. So, I want to wish you best of the both, and thank you so much for your support of this veteran park. Tom, thank you for your service in the military, and it's greatly appreciated. And this park is dedicated to guys like you and the men and women that have served this country in the history of the U.S. fighting in wars. So, just want to thank you both.
Thanks, Steve.
If you all haven't visited the Veterans Memorial Park of Blaine, it resides now in Tom Ryan Park, which is right outside of City Hall in Blaine, and it's definitely something worth your time to stroll through. We will go next to Terry Wold, representing the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Committee here in Blaine.
Welcome. I'm really honored to be included in the group honoring the community leadership and service of both Councilmember Swanson and Mayor Tom. I mentioned earlier before we got started that about the time Dick Swanson became involved in city leadership, I moved to Blaine from Circle Pines. They found it best for me to leave for whatever reason. And it's been a real treat following Dick's career. And I would pop in on the city council meetings, and I've always been impressed with how the city operates. I've been a friend of Tom Ryan for a number of years, probably worked the closest with him on the Blaine Beyond the Yellow Ribbon program, which he was involved with at the start. And for some reason, we had coffee one day, and the next thing you know, I was involved with that also. And we've done some really good things honoring people that have passed from previous wars, but we also serving the families of the deployed soldiers. You talk about Tom being an on-hands volunteer server. I remember going up and assessing the needs of someone as far away as Pine City and having to crawl up and down a flight of steps because he was so beat up from his condition. We ended up going out and buying this guy a complete bedroom set and moving it to a room downstairs. I also remember Tom as being saying we have to go out and shovel someone's snow. And I'd never seen anyone like a leader like Tom leading the charge with a snowplow. It's just been a real treat working with him. I see his leaving the position as mayor as a boon for us, because now he's going to have a lot more time to be a lot more involved in both the Yellow Ribbon and the seniors projects we have going. Also the Veterans Memorial Park. And I may even get him to come over to prestigious Southeast Blaine a little more often, and I can show him some of the new streets we have over here. So
yeah,
it's just best of luck to both of you. And I look forward to seeing both of you down the road.
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Dick.
Thanks, Terry. Next, we're going to go to Police Chief Brian Padani.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This is an incredible moment. Obviously, you probably figured out I'm on vacation right now, so you'll have to pardon that.
Notice.
But it's interesting to look around the room and see all these blasts from the past and all these other folks in here. So it really speaks volumes to your accomplishments and everything you've done for the city here. And I just wanted to speak briefly. As you can see the layout in the council chambers, we put together some things, particularly for the mayor, but also for our council members and Councilmember Swanson, and a personalized mug, which we have yet to do even for ourselves. So, but also, Mayor, you got your own official Mayor Ryan badge now too, and some other items. But I wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the police department, both past and present. We just, I can't tell you how much it means to us to have your support. And I said this a couple of council meetings ago, but we are in some difficult times, obviously, and it is so refreshing to have support from you, Mayor Ryan, from you, Councilmember Swanson, and from all of our elected officials. But for years, everybody in the police department knows that you have our backs. And that is just unfathomable in today's society. And how much that is appreciated, I just can't put that into words. It really is. It really is. And when I came here a few years ago, in all honesty, you made my decision much easier because I know I'd get to work for you. And it's been a gift, and I have not been disappointed in the least. I'm obviously sorry to see you go, but we're always excited for the future, but it's certainly well earned. And you will be missed. I know you'll be around still, and we won't be strangers, but on behalf of everybody in the police department and safety services and community standards as well, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything you've done for us, for everything you've done for our incredible community. And we will never forget you, and we truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Chief was our last speaker for this evening, and thank you very much to all our speakers who we asked them each to go about 3 minutes, and we had 20 speakers and we came in under an hour. So that means you all kept to the time we asked. So thank you very much. We do have a video that we want to share. Now, like 2020, we expect trying to do a screen share Zoom video is probably going to be a little glitchy like the rest of this year, but we're going to do our best with this video. So I'm going to start the video now.
Been working with the Mary Ann Young Center for the past 23.5 years, and I believe during that entire time, both Mayor Tom Ryan and Councilmember Dick Swanson have been part of our Senior Center Advisory Council meetings. So they've come together with us with a group of seniors and with a group of people who work at other facilities within the local area to make decisions and talk about the past, the present, the future of the center. So they've been very integral in making sure that we're moving forward and that they're doing the best that they can to make sure that we get what we need to provide for the seniors in the community.
Boy, Tom and I and Dick, actually, we go back 30 years. I mean, when I first started here, Tom was a council member, and then he worked his way up to the mayor. And little by little, he got more involved with the older population. That was really near and dear to his heart. The same with Dick.
They've just always been there, supportive for both staff and for the people in the community. So it's just commendable that they've spent so much time in that endeavor.
First and foremost, just thank you. Whether you've been a resident of this community for a few months, a year, a few years, or many, many, many years, we owe them a lot of thanks because the hours and the time that they have spent, it's just incredible, and we owe them our thanks for that. And this is a really wonderful community, and there's great things happening here. So thanking them for their time and wise decision making is I guess what I would first and foremost. And thank you just personally for their welcome and their support to me being new as well. It's an amazing number of years of dedicated community service, and really completely from the heart, not from any other place. And that I think that's about both of them. It's just a lot of passion for this community that they wanted to serve. And it's so clear and it's so evident in how they conduct themselves in their business and how they talk about the city. They just love this city and they just wanted to serve.
Dick and Tom have been champions for development. During their time, Blaine has changed so much in the last 20 years. And one of the things that I always am able to honestly tell developers or builders is that Blaine is a business-friendly community and our elected officials welcome business. And Tom and Dick have always been a champion in welcoming that new business or that new residential project to make our community better into the future. Well, it's been very beneficial to have two council members that have seen Blaine change a lot over the last 20 years. One of the things that Tom always says is that he was elected on the platform to stop development. But of course, that was not something that occurred, but I think he's very proud of how the city has developed during his tenure. We've had a lot of exciting things happen from the TPC starting to develop. I know Tom takes a lot of pride in the lakes and some other projects. So I think it's been very exciting for both of them to see how the city has grown under their watch. One of the things I definitely appreciate from Councilmember Swanson is he always recognizes that the decisions that the city makes from a development standpoint, both positive and negative, are seen outside of our community. And he's often a voice of reason at council meetings and reminds his fellow council members that the decisions that we're making, people are watching, and he always tries to keep a very positive light on our community.
Both of them have been huge supporters of Public Works throughout the years. Tom, having been in the trucking business, really understands it, and he loves to come out and see our equipment, talk about our equipment. And even in a council meeting, he'll bring up a time when, and maybe this is my favorite one, is he'll remember when a certain piece of equipment was first delivered to the city, even if it was 20, 30 years ago, and, can describe how it came off the truck or was dropped off here for its first use, and how staff were really excited about getting this new, larger piece of equipment because at the time, we were still growing significantly. Councilmember Swanson's been a huge supporter of our open space, of our park system, adding the dog park, which we eventually recognized him by naming it after him.
I would say that Mayor Ryan and Councilmember Swanson have spent countless hours and working on making Blaine a better community. And they have done it willingly and volunteered, even sitting on different committees throughout the community and throughout the region to make Blaine a better place, and to have that long-term presence has been very helpful. They understand things from the very beginning because they were involved with things from the very beginning and are able to see things through and work on them. And they both have worked tirelessly for the city of Blaine.
I know the countless hours that they have both spent, offline that we don't see as staff on phone and meeting with people, especially Mayor Ryan. We know that that's kind of his passion, and then he just takes the time and he goes out. He never can go to the store without somebody talking to him. He goes out on site on different projects and checks things out. He's at both Mayor and Councilmember Swanson are at the Senior Center, the Mary Ann Young Center, quite a bit. That's one of their passions as well. And just their work on developing the city to a place where it is for residents as well as businesses. That's very important. You can't have one without the other. And they've created the city. The Veterans Memorial Park here at City Hall at Tom Ryan Park. It's just, I haven't been on site for a couple of weeks. I've been working from home, and pull in just today and the work that they've done, especially Mayor Ryan, with the 5 memorials that were just put in. It's the legacy that'll never go away. And the Swanson Dog Park. My children are there with their dog all the time. It's just that's a place that just will never, it's just things like that that just help with the quality of life here in Blaine, and that's what they've done. They have the city's thanks, just the gratitude for everything that they've done. Their families have sacrificed and assisted through this all those years. We all know that it's not just them. Many hours, I don't even know. I'm sure somebody's figured out how many hours just of meeting times alone that they have done. That commitment is just beyond anything that I can imagine. And so I just I know everybody just wants to share their thanks for that, and just that they're gonna be missed.
Well, that concludes our scheduled speakers, the video, and we wanted to then, we'll have more during the council meeting. As we said, we have some resolutions of appreciation and some other things that we'll share during the council meeting. We'll hear from current council members during the council meeting as well, but we did want to give Mayor Ryan and Councilmember Swanson both an opportunity to share a few words here at the end of this portion. So Councilmember Swanson, we'll have you go first if there's anything you would want to share with all the people assembled here.
Okay, I'm very thankful for all the speakers we had, and it's unique to look back over a career with all the different events that happened. And I'm probably the most proud of the one thing that Councilman Clark mentioned, which is this trails and sidewalks. That when I first got on, the city was not supportive of trails, particularly the city manager at that point did not really believe in trails. And it was something of a battle with those of us who were new at that time to get the first trails built. But once they got built, everybody recognized the impact they had on the community. I remember having another councilman over sitting on my deck one Sunday afternoon, looking at the trail we could see from there and counting 100 young families walking up and down that trail inside of an hour. And that pretty well convinced him that trails were necessary. All in all, I'm thankful for being able to serve as many years as I did and for all the nice, great people I've served with. So I guess that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Mayor Ryan, did you have some comments you wanted to share at this time?
How much time you got?
Well, we've got more time coming in the council meeting, but definitely have time now.
You know, I've always been one that I've done probably 50 retirements here, and I never understood why people didn't want to do the retirements, would just rather walk out. That's the way I feel. But last night I laid in bed, and I whenever I can't sleep, I usually wake up my wife, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, all these things are running through my head, and it's just everywhere I look here, you see nothing but something that you had your finger on. And it was funny because the first thing that came to my mind was a picture that sits in the back of City Hall, which was the overhead picture that we took of the 911, the morning after 911. And it was I don't know how many people, 150 people. I don't know if Jerry Newton was there. Yeah, but Mayor Sharon Sales Belton was in the far right corner. And the picture went viral all across the United States. And it was we did it, I think it was like 5:30 in the morning. And it went all over the world. But, there's a lot of things here that over the years that it just, the people that I've worked with and all the people that are here, I'm honored tonight to see these people, I'll tell you. And for all the good, there's people here that aren't here anymore that I feel really, really honored that some of the council members aren't here anymore. Kathy Kolb, Randy Kolb, some of the elected officials that were here, there's like 5 that aren't here anymore. And you just, you feel really lucky. And then after this year, you look around and you think, we're really lucky. My wife and I have been pretty much haven't had it. The virus hasn't touched us. And all I can wish is that next year or this year coming up, that we're going to be okay and that we're going to get out of this thing. But I look at all the good things and I think about some of the times that weren't so good. Dick got sick a couple of years ago. I got sick in 2006, and because of people stepping up for me, Dave Clark took my place, and Dave Johnson about pounded me until I got my head together. And it just, whenever you work 3 jobs and you try to do it all as best as you can, you fall apart, and I did. And I remember the last thing he said to me, he says, either straighten yourself out, Tom, or I'll never speak to you again. So I don't know. I just every time I look, no matter where I go, it's going to always remember the people that built us, the Dave Johnsons, the Chris Olsons, the 6 city managers that we had, all the people, the fire chiefs, and all the people and all the elected officials. And we don't meet anymore like we used to with our local elected people. We don't do that anymore, and that's key. And I wanted to say this way. Well, the league representative was here, that when I started, the first thing they pounded into you was teamwork. You're never alone. You're a team, and that's what you got to do. And I think that's been kind of forgotten a little bit here. And that no matter what party you believe in, that you still are part of a team. And if the team fails, then everybody fails. And I've been so lucky to have Dick with me all the way, most of the way through, and Wes, all the people that have been with me, and 30 different council members. That's a lot. And I went through the list last night, and I just can't believe it. And we never got to any out fights or anything like that. We disagreed, but we always got together and we talked about it. And that's the key. And, you know, Bob served a long time as mayor, Bob Benke, and you know what it's like. And I watch other cities go at it. And the mayor of Coon Rapids, Jerry, he knows the same thing. But I can remember going to Washington the way we used to go with Coon Rapids, and we always tried them to get to buy supper, but we just couldn't pull it off. You know how much the dinners are in Washington, D.C., big time. But if I would have stuck longer here, I think I could have beat Dan Sokolsky, the assistant chief. But I don't know. He's got, 37 years already? So I gave up. And I think there's 2 mayors that are close behind me. The mayor from Shoreview and I think Apple Valley are a year behind me. But the last time I was at the mayor's conferences, I was still the longest serving mayor without stopping, or the elected official. But I'm proud of all we've accomplished. And Kathy and Ben and whoever put this together, you did an awesome job. I'll tell you, I'm learning a lot about there's some sneaky people in this city here that do things behind your back. And Kathy's one of them. And Ben's another one. They do things that are like this that are awesome. And, you know, I look at all the people that I work with, and I always look at the people that are here now, and I look at, well, these are all new. They're not new. They're 15 years here, 20 years here. You know, Rourke leaves and Bob leaves pretty quick here. And wherever you think is new, it's just they've got the tenure to take the city forward. And we have three new elected officials, and they're going to be awesome here. And I just, so you'll probably see me out on my knees pulling weeds in the park out in front. And with the seniors, I plan on cooking dinner in July there. We did as many as 1,200 pork chops one time for the seniors here. And I hope that the virus goes away and we can do all those things like we had. But I'm very honored to see everybody here. Clark, you came a long ways, Dave. My God, it just, you know, I survived through 6 city managers. That's pretty good. Yeah, every one of them were great for the time we were in. I'm telling you. Michelle got stuck with a bad one. I mean, this is a tough year for any manager trying to move on and to get through this thing. But I think we're rounding the corner a little bit now where she can actually see some of the good parts of Blaine instead of a virus. But to have our senator, our state representatives here, it's awesome, Aaron and Nolan and Jerry. But thank you all again. And Dave, behave yourself. And if you're going to have to go some to catch up with me here, you know.
I'll do my best.
Well, Mr. Mayor, we are going to finish off the workshop by making this an official part of Blaine history. We have the Blaine Historical Society President Orville Lindquist with us to share a few words as we close, and that will really make this night an official part of Blaine history.
Can I say, Ben, before I quit, can I say something?
Yes.
My wife is sitting next to me. She's been, God, do I want to cry? Whenever I say it, she's been with me all the way. And she took some of the heat that I should have taken, and all my kids, my 4 daughters, my 12 grandkids, and they've stuck with this when probably they shouldn't have. They should have been really angry at me, but they stuck with me all the way, and I'm really proud of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor, for sure. I will turn it over to Orville to finish our event tonight.
And thank you. My apologies, Mayor and Council Member. I got caught up in some work things and missed a bunch of things here, but I'm really glad to get to close out the show here. And just really, like everyone else, express thanks. You know what, folks who run a city have a lot of power. You know, you're elected, you're given power, you can vote, you can make decisions, you can make change. But I think one of the best powers that you have is encouraging and supporting and shining your light on people and organizations that make up the city. And certainly we in the Historical Society have been a part of that. That you've supported us, both Councilmember Swanson and particularly Mayor Ryan, have helped us grow and supported us when we've needed some funding, and use the bully pulpit to spread the word about Blaine's history. They're a ragtag little group. You've helped us along, and we just want to extend our official thanks for your role and leadership in caring about this little segment of Blaine's history. So thank you both so much.
Thanks, Earl.
Well, Mayor, that concludes what we had prepared for you. We have about 15 minutes of time, it looks like, for a break before the council meeting begins, but that's what we had prepared for the workshop this evening.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks all of you for being here. Really appreciate it.